On your website specifically, if it takes longer than just 5 seconds for your website visitors to understand what you offer, how you can help them solve their problem, and how they can work with you, prospects are more or less guaranteed to leave your site. However, when your website has a clear message that helps customers quickly and easily understand how you can help them and how to work with you, they're much more likely to buy, schedule a discovery call, or do whatever it is that you want them to do.
Hey there, you're listening to the Priority Pursuit Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping small business owners and leaders define, maintain, and pursue both their personal and business priorities so they can build lives and businesses they love. I'm your host, Victoria Rayburn, and y'all, we have spent a lot of time talking about SEO lately, which I have loved, by the way. We've talked about keyword identification, how to better your EAT, and what kinds of content you can create to improve your Google and search engine rankings, reach your best customers, and create consistent, sustainable business growth. But here's the thing. SEO cannot convert prospects into paying customers. SEO can get people to your website, but SEO doesn't actually make sales. That is your website's job. You see, your website is the foundation of all of your marketing and communication efforts. Yes, social media, email marketing, SEO, and other marketing tactics and tools are important. But honestly, these tools all exist to drive traffic to your website, which is where your customers are going to buy now, schedule a discovery call, or do whatever it is that you want them to do. In other words, your website is where your ideal clients will actually convert. But what if you're already ranking well on Google? Like, what if you're the first listing? What if social media is driving consistent traffic to your site? What if your click-through rates are actually looking really great, but you're doing these things and you still aren't seeing sales? If that's the case, friend, chances are that there is an issue with your website that needs to be addressed. Something about your site is discouraging or preventing your ideal customers from taking action. So today I am thrilled to once again be joined by Treefrog Content Director Angel Tobey to discuss 7 reasons your website isn't converting and how to fix it. Angel, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Hey, it's good to be back. I mean, it's always fun to be on the show, and it's been twice in the same month. So I don't know if that's ever happened before.
I mean, we should definitely do it more often. Yeah, we can do that. But Angel, you were literally just on the show 2 weeks ago. But in case listeners missed the episode or haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, would you mind introducing yourself again and sharing how you serve small businesses in your role at Treefrog?
Oh, wait a second. Are you saying that people don't listen to every single episode?
I mean, I would really, really love to think so, but I think it's safe to say probably not.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I'm Angel Tobey, Treefrog Marketing's content director. At Treefrog, I oversee all of the content and copy that goes, that our agency produces for our clients. So in other words, I oversee all the words that go onto websites and blog posts, emails, ads, and really anything and everything with written communication. And when it comes to website development, my team and I write all of the copy for our clients' websites. And this requires working really closely with our strategy and SEO teams to make sure that the copy is in alignment with each client's overall marketing and SEO strategy. And then we use our clients' marketing guiding statements, which we'll discuss a little bit more later in the episode and that we've discussed previously on the podcast. And we put those marketing guiding statements into a story-based website formula that's proven to speak to a prospect's pain points and drive conversions. And that might seem a little bit formulaic, and it is to an extent. But the goal is to make sure that our clients' websites speak to their ideal clients, drive conversions, and ultimately help them reach their business goals.
Yes. And Angel, you always do this so effectively. I mean, y'all, Angel just finished copy for a jeweler who specializes in sustainable and ethically sourced jewelry. And she did such an amazing job of just giving life to Robert Goodman Jewelers' new site. So if their new site is live by the time this episode airs, like it should be anytime, we will be sure to include it in the show notes because I would just love for you to see what I mean. But the point of this episode is to help you identify why your website isn't converting, why it isn't delivering the results and sales that it should be. So there are 7 reasons. Angel, do you want to break down the first and arguably most common reason small businesses' websites fail to convert?
Absolutely. So regular listeners aren't going to be surprised to hear this, but one of, if not the most common reasons small business websites don't convert is because their website doesn't include clear messaging. So as we've said before, clear messaging is communication that your ideal customers can understand quickly and easily. And whether you're working on your website or any other aspect of your marketing strategy, clear messaging is going to be the key to effective marketing. And this is because research shows that people don't buy the best products and services. They actually buy the ones they can most easily understand. Now, on your website specifically, if it takes longer than just 5 seconds for your website visitors to understand what you offer, how you can help them solve their problem, and how they can work with you, prospects are more or less guaranteed to leave your site. However, when your website has a clear message that helps customers quickly and easily understand how you can help them and how to work with you, they're much more likely to buy, schedule a discovery call, or do whatever it is that you want them to do. So if you want your website or any aspect of your marketing really to be successful, you have to clarify your messaging. You have to determine exactly what your ideal customers need to hear to make them want to do business with you, and then put this language on your website. Now, to clarify your messaging, you can write what we call your marketing guiding statements. And marketing guiding statements are written guidelines that position your brand and business as a trusted partner. The process of writing these statements gives you the information you need to write clear, concise, and effective messaging for your website and other marketing assets like social media, emails, and really everything else.
And because we know that small businesses marketing can't succeed without clear messaging, y'all, we put together a free mini course that walks you through exactly how to write your marketing guiding statements. You can find it by checking out the show notes or by going to treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements.
Yeah. And just to make this clear one more time, your website will not be successful, meaning it's not going to convert your ideal customers if you don't have clear customer focused messaging. So before you spend another minute or dollar making changes to your website or on any aspect of your marketing for that matter, please take the time to write your marketing guiding statements. Again, you can learn how to write these statements with our free mini course, which can be found in the show notes or at treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements.
Yes, whether you're working on your site or, like Angel said, any other aspect of your marketing, clear messaging is key. So yes, check out that course. And, in our experience, a lack of clear messaging, it's honestly typically the most common reason a small business's website fails or struggles to convert. But another reason you might not be experiencing conversions is because your website just doesn't include the right information. It's important to make sure that your site includes the information your ideal client needs to make them want to do business with you. If a prospective customer comes to your website and they can't find answers to their questions like how much you charge or how to work with you or what the process of working with you looks like they are practically guaranteed to leave your site without making a purchase, without scheduling a consultation, visiting your shop or doing whatever it is that you want them to do because you failed to give them the information that they were looking for. So chances are they went and looked at one of your competitors. So to avoid this mistake, be sure that you understand what your customer is looking for and what questions they need answered as they're researching and comparing products and services like yours. So your marketing guiding statements are going to be a big help during this process because they outline exactly what problem your ideal client is facing and how you can help them solve their problem. So once again, be sure to write your marketing guiding statements, which you can do with the help of the free mini course that is linked in the show notes. But in addition to this mini course, I do want to share one other resource with you. You see, there are actually 8 things that every small business's website needs to include to convert site visitors into paying customers. And if you'd like to learn what those 8 elements are, visit treefrogmarketing.com/website to access our free guide, 8 things every small business's website must include to convert visitors into paying customers. We will also be sure to link to this guide in the show notes.
Yeah, that's great. And if you take the time to write your marketing guiding statements and make sure your website includes the 8 things listed in that guide, plus any other information that's pertinent to your ideal customers, chances are you'll have a high converting website. That said, another reason your website might not be converting is because your website includes too much information. So big blocks of text and unnecessary details can really overwhelm prospects, which will likely result in them leaving and not wanting to do business with you. So while it's important to include the right information on your website, like Victoria said, your web copy needs to be as concise and easy to follow as possible. So make sure your website copy only includes the information your ideal clients actually need. For example, your best customers likely don't need to know what every member of your team's favorite color is on your about page, or how you used to offer X product and now you offer Z product. So as a general rule of thumb, fewer words, assuming that they're the right words, will lead to bigger results.
What would you do with an extra 45 minutes every workday? That would save you 16 hours a month or roughly 8 days a year. And over the course of your career, we're talking about over 1 year of your life saved. All that time back. Well, many independent business owners spend far more than 45 minutes a day on administrative tasks. And with HoneyBook, you can get that time back and then some. HoneyBook lets you easily manage projects, contracts, invoices, scheduling, and client communication, saving you time and allowing you to better serve your clients. For a discount on your first year of HoneyBook, visit honeybook.com and subscribe with the code PriorityPursuit. 45 minutes a day adds up quickly. Use it to focus on what matters most.
Do you ever get frustrated when you have to wait weeks for your web designer to make a simple change to your website? Is your current website so slow that it's hurting your SEO? Or do you wish designing a web page was easier? If so, you have to try Showit. It's a drag and drop website platform that provides complete creative freedom over the layout and design of your website. So whether you're looking to DIY your site with a Showit template or work with a professional designer, Showit is the perfect web builder for small businesses. As an agency, we build many of our clients' websites with Showit because it gives our designers the freedom to build strategic, visually on-brand websites rather than being forced to use a specific layout like you are with other website builders. And it comes with robust servers, meaning Showit websites are exceptionally fast, even if you're a photographer with lots of images on your site. And it's easy for our clients to use. While we are always happy to make website changes, things can change fast in small businesses. And sometimes our clients need to be able to easily update a thing or two on their own websites. So we love Showit so much that we want to give you an opportunity to try our favorite web builder for free. Whether you like to try Showit or you're already convinced that it's the right web builder for you, visit treefrogmarketing.com/Showit to receive 1 free month of Showit. Again, visit treefrogmarketing.com/Showit to try Showit for free and so that you can have a website that is easy to use but works as hard as you do.
If you want to improve your conversion rates, like one of the most strategic things you can do is to make sure your web copy strictly includes the information that is pertinent to your ideal clients. And y'all, while the mini course and website guide we discussed will certainly help you determine what information to include on your website, if you'd like to learn the web copywriting process or formula that Angel and her team use, I want to encourage you to check out episode 107, How to Write Website Copy for Your Small Business. In this episode, Angel beautifully breaks it down exactly how to write site copy for your home, service, and about pages. And we'll be sure to link to this episode in the show notes. But another common reason that small businesses' websites fail to convert is because they don't offer a great user experience. If your website is slow to load, difficult to navigate, doesn't perform well, or requires site visitors to do a bunch of clicking and detective work to find the information that they're looking for, prospects aren't going to stay on your site because it's frustrating, because it's too much work to use. So if you want your website to convert and to be your most powerful marketing tool, it has to be user friendly. So your site visitors need to be able to find exactly what they're looking for quickly and easily without experiencing any friction or any frustration and before you lose their attention. So make sure your website loads quickly, make sure your site design is cohesive with your brand, make text easy to read and digest by doing things like using headings and using bullet points and limiting script fonts or fonts that are difficult to read. Make sure your design is responsive and mobile friendly. Basically, just ensure that using your website is an enjoyable experience, that your site visitors can easily find the information they need. Because the last thing that you want to do is lose business simply because your prospects are irritated by your website.
That's such a good point. If your website is glitchy or slow or it just doesn't feel trustworthy, you likely aren't going to stay on that site. Your visitors likely aren't going to stay on that site. And, you're going to miss out on reaching your ideal customers. Now, speaking of trust, another reason your website might not be converting is because it fails to build trust and establish authority with your ideal customers. So chances are there are a lot of people in businesses that do exactly what you do. So as a result, it's important that your website helps prospects see why they should work with you as opposed to someone else. To add authority to your website in a way that isn't braggy or salesy, we recommend including testimonials from happy customers. You can do links to publications or awards, client logos if you work with businesses that are recognizable. portfolios that showcase your work, and or case studies that show the results you deliver for your customers. This will obviously look a little bit different for every small business, but showing authority on your website without blatantly saying it or making yourself the hero of the story is a great way to build trust with your prospective customers and increases the likelihood that your site visitors are going to convert.
Yes. So offering a great user experience and adding the authority building elements that Angel discussed to your site will certainly help build trust, which is crucial. And on that same note, another reason that prospects might be hesitant to trust you and convert is because your website and brand, like, they don't look professional. They don't look trustworthy. So if your website isn't polished and professional looking, whether, consciously or unconsciously, prospects are going to question the quality of your products or services. And first impressions matter. And your website, it's one of the first impressions someone has with your business. So if your design looks outdated or clunky or disorganized, or you have spelling errors, potential customers are likely going to assume that your work will be the same, that your work will be the same quality. So while we highly recommend working with a professional web designer, if you aren't there yet, please know that creating a professional looking website, that does not mean that you need to spend a fortune on design. It simply means ensuring your website looks cohesive, is well organized, is visually appealing, and that it is, we've said this so many times, that it is easy to navigate.
Yeah, that's so true. And, as a content director, I'm obviously an emphasis on copy, but great copy isn't going to get you anywhere if it's on a website that's hard to navigate or that just doesn't look great. So a clean design with quality images, clear branding, and attention to detail can go a long way in establishing trust and really making a strong first impression. So as you update or redesign your website, just remember that consistency is key. You want your visual brand, from your logo to your fonts to your colors, to be uniform across your website and marketing materials. So don't forget to, make social media, ads, emails, print materials, and anything else really consistent with your branding on your website.
Exactly. So yeah, as you work to determine, why your website isn't converting, look at your site and your visual brand as a whole through a potential customer's eyes. Like, does it look professional? Does it feel cohesive? If not, it's time for a refresh or a redesign. Otherwise, you'll likely continue to miss out on business simply because your website and visual brand don't instill that trust that we talked about.
Yes, exactly. That's a great point. Okay, so last but not least, if your website isn't converting well, it might simply be because you aren't telling your site visitors what to do next, and you aren't giving your prospects a clear call to action or a CTA. So your website needs to include a direct CTA where you clearly invite your website visitors to do whatever it is you ultimately want them to do, like buy now or schedule a discovery call. Those are both great CTAs. So a simple way you can drastically improve your website conversion rate is to add a clear CTA to your website. And to do this, we recommend making your CTA stand out and be actionable by putting it on colored buttons throughout your website. Now, your CTA should be as concise as possible. So think no more than 4 words, and fit nicely on a website button. So again, think things like buy now or schedule a discovery call. And as you update or build your website, or if you have a designer handle this for you, put your CTA on buttons, use colors to help those buttons stand out, and make sure every CTA button links to a page where visitors can take action. For example, if your CTA is schedule a discovery call, make sure the buttons take prospects to a page where they can actually schedule a discovery call.
And chances are you need to include these buttons way more often on a page than you think. You see, as people explore your site, they're going to be ready to take action at different points. Some are going to need to read testimonials before deciding to work with you, while others are going to need to see pricing. So we recommend including colored CTA buttons in the top right corner of your menu, and then also throughout your website way more often than you probably think you should. But by placing CTA buttons strategically throughout your site, you ensure that your website visitors can easily take action whenever they're ready to take action, which makes them much more likely to inquire or purchase or do whatever it is that you want them to do before you lose their attention.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, be sure to use the same CTA. Remember, your website needs to give visitors clarity. So if every button gives your site visitors different instructions and takes them to a different web page, you're only going to cause confusion and increase your chances of losing a prospect. So instead, use the same CTA over and over again, such as schedule a discovery call, so that your website visitors know exactly what they need to do. Like Victoria said, it might seem like a lot when you're either writing or designing the website, but having the same CTA over and over again at different intervals within your website really helps direct prospects at whatever stage of the buying process they're in or information gathering process that they're in. So now if you'd like to see an example of how to use CTA buttons, visit treefrogmarketing.com. Our CTA is scheduled discovery call. And if you go to our website, you'll quickly notice CTA buttons all over the website telling prospects to do exactly that. And remember, if you're leaving room for uncertainty on your website by not clearly telling website visitors what they need to do, you're drastically increasing the likelihood that people will leave your site before they take action. So in other words, without a clear CTA, you're missing out on business.
Yes. Okay, y'all, there you have it. 7 reasons why your website might not be converting and how you can fix it. So as we conclude this episode, I want to remind you that more often than not, people don't buy the best products or services. They invest in the solutions that they can most easily understand. And as a result, when you have a website that answers your ideal customers' questions, establishes trust, and serves prospects well, you can almost guarantee higher conversion rates and business growth.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, your website is your small business's most powerful marketing tool. In fact, after identifying your ideal client and clarifying your message, website development is the first thing we recommend that small businesses invest in from a marketing perspective. With this in mind, don't put off either updating your current site with the information we discussed today or investing, whether it be time or money, into a new strategically built website.
Yes, at Treefrog, there is nothing we want more than to see your small business succeed. And the truth is, you need a website that converts to do that, because without one, you're limiting your company's growth. So make your website one of your top marketing priorities. Angel, thank you so much for coming back on the show. As always, you had so much content and copy wisdom to share. Honestly, I'm going to shut us down here because I can already as we get to the conclusion of this episode, I feel the need to remind people once again, hey, this is why your website matters. But thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Yeah. And, these little changes we talked about today can make all the difference for a small business. So this was a conversation I was more than happy to have.
Oh, I'm so glad. And you are absolutely right. These seemingly little changes can yield huge results for small businesses. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Priority Pursuit podcast. Remember, you can find all the resources we mentioned in the show notes or at prioritypursuit.com. If you enjoyed this episode, we hope you'll take a moment to share it with your small business friends, to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and that you'll join us next week for even more marketing, boundary, and priority-driven tactics you can use to build a life and small business that you love.